playing. My setup is not quite done once again. It's my favorite. But you know what? It's okay. My setup's not quite done because people aren't quite showing up, so. It's fine. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it. So, I am sure everyone remembers why I had to stop on Friday. Because Natsume wasn't showing up where he was supposed to. I fixed that. And so that is where we're going to pick up. We're going to talk to Natsume. Yay. Which I'm sure everyone's excited about. Continue. Yes, I want to pick up there. Mr. Natsume is back! Which is the whole point. So he is. Mr. Natsume! Hello! Given how much work I had to go through to get you to show up again. I am a cat. Sorry? I don't know who Mr. Natsume is, or Hairlock Sholmes. I don't know about courts, or trials, or Old Baileys. I am a cat! That's what I am. Just a cat. Mr. Naruhodo, he's trying to escape from reality. Trying to? He already has. Completely. So, what's your name then? As yet, I have no name. Mr. Naruhodo, he hasn't fully thought out his new identity yet. Maybe it's not too late to bring him back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Do you think you could open your eyes for us, Mr. Natsume? What, do you want me to... Psst, 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 psst. Hey! Success! I am not a cat. It worked! He's back in the real world. What's going to become of me? No! Don't answer that! It's obvious! My accursed soul is never going to escape this accursed fate. Mr. Natsume, no! This morning's proceedings in court proved that there's hope. Yes, yes. Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire was brilliant, but... The Reaper is omnipresent! In court! In my lodgings! Here, there, everywhere! In your lodgings? What's he looking straight at me for? I think perhaps there are some things we should discuss. Oh, yes. Yes, we must. Let's have a chat. In my whole life, I've never been so moved as I was today. No. Of course, if I cast my mind back, there were perhaps one or two other occasions that moved me more. But if I just block those out, then today, being in that courtroom was... It was the most moving experience of my life, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. You're too kind. Scotland Yard found the remaining tea, just as we'd deduced, and are analyzing it as we speak. There's nothing wrong with that tea. They won't find a drop of poison in it. That's a solemn sworn Saseki certainty. Tell me, did you both drink the tea at the same time that night? Oh yes, most definitely. Remember, drink tea while it's hot. We both poured it down our throats like it was a hot bath for our bellies. And at the time, you were both completely fine. As shown by the fact that he and Mr. Shamspear then engaged in the Romeo and Juliet match. I suppose the focus of tomorrow's proceedings will be how the poison was taken by the victim then. Alright, tell me... Roommate's the wrong term, but tell me about your roommate. Housemate! That's the term. That rotten Shamspear, what have I ever done to him? You don't recall him taking issue with you over anything you've done recently? I've been holed up in my room, immersed in books. I don't recall anything at all. Right. But what I don't understand is why he didn't let me know sooner. Communication. It's very important. Let you know what, Mr. Natsume? About the soap, of course. What else? Oh, so you wanted in on his little ice chip move. Oh dear. Are you struggling with such a meager stipend? Of course I am. If I had money, I wouldn't have chosen to live an accursed existence in such accursed lodgings. Oh, yeah, you said it's because the place is cursed that it's so cheap, didn't you? Exactly. Especially the room that I rent. The spirit of that capital offender who lived there still haunts the place, and it's trying to kill me. Capital offender? We got a newspaper about this, remember? Might I ask, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire, that the next time you visit me, you bring scores of super soft soaps. Would this be the capital offender you speak of? What's this? It's a newspaper cutting that we found in Mr. Shamspear's room. Ah, so he knew, did he? Sorry? About this man, Selden. A convicted killer and the evil spirit behind the curse that affects my lodgings. Technically, Saseki just said afflicts, but you know what? Close enough. That's... What? He's already taken one young man's life, and now he's trying to take the life of another, a miserable, mustached, much-maligned Japanese man. Mr. Natsume, if you know something, please, you must tell us. Tell us everything you can about this evil spirit. Ooh, new dialogue. My favorite. The truth is, I didn't know the details myself until very recently. That Selden man was arrested about a year ago now. And at the time, he was hiding out in lodgings at Mr. Garrideb's house. He lived where you do now? That's right, yes. Exactly where I live now. In my very room. Oh my, your room was previously occupied by a criminal found guilty of a capital offense? But before his sentence could be carried out, he died in prison. That was 3 months ago now. And that's when it started, the curse. What really is this curse you keep mentioning, Mr. Natsume? It's already caused one death. A few months after the criminal passed away in prison. A man died in the room. The man who rented it after Selden, in fact. The poor lodger, he was found dead in mysterious circumstances. The room was locked from the inside. Locked from the inside? Exactly like the case we're dealing with now. So that's the convict's curse, is it? Yes. Well, that was the start of it. Sure, tell me more about this, quote-unquote curse. Do you have any idea how the lodger before you passed away, Mr. Natsume? The official cause of death was asphyxia. So, strangled. When they discovered the body, the room was full of gas. Okay, so not strangled. Just couldn't get enough oxygen. Gas? I only found that out after I'd signed the lease. When Mr. Garrideb came to tell me later, I couldn't stop myself trembling. Maybe as a thought. I'm sorry, don't leave your gas stove on for heat. In fact, if I'd known beforehand, I'd probably have been too scared to take the room. Landlord's lease, luckily legal. Lucky for Mr. Garrideb, maybe, but not so lucky for poor Mr. Natsume. And now you believe this curse is affecting you? It is, at first. I just felt as though I was being watched all the time. And then you talked about having nightmares, did you? The dead are trying to take me with them. They come for me and try to suffocate me. Just when I'm struggling to breathe, I wake up. And the room is as cold as ice. Okay, so never mind my comment about the gas stove for heating, huh? Although it does sound like he might have like a stress sleep apnea or something. But why is your room so cold? London winters are too cold to bear without any heating on overnight. But for some reason, even though I light the stove before I climb into bed at night, the pilot light always goes out and the room fills with gas. But that's terrible. It's exactly the same situation as what led to the previous occupant's death. And then there's what happened to Mr. Shamspeare last night, when he was mysteriously poisoned. There's clearly more to that incident than can be explained by a curse, though. Whatever can be the cause of all these strange happenings in Mr. Garrideb's rooms? A mystery. Maybe we should ask the man in question. The man in question. Ah, you're here now, Mr. Garrideb. Right, bally business it is for me, you know, getting out and about. Were you at the Old Bailey by any chance? Naturally. Fate of my lodgings hanging in the balance and all that. Not a trial to miss. The fate of what's already been dubbed your haunted lodgings, yes. Of course, the place has caused quite a stir around the capital on more than one occasion already. As the old haunted lodgings or some such. Ah, well, at least he knows. Makes you wonder what in the blazes is going on, don't you know? I'm sorry, I just went full Minnesotan on that. Don't you know? So I'm sure it does. In fact, thinking back to Mr. Natsume's other trial just 2 days ago. When did you get here? You didn't come up with us to talk to Natsume. Why are you here? You were at the Old Bailey then as well, weren't you? Testifying with your wife about what happened. Stopped off at the prison on the way home, in fact. Beastly business. I see. Oh, he's standing up. So, what brings you to my haunted abode today, eh? Well, let's have a chat. Your lodgings. Some fishy fellow from the Far East and a failed actor chap of questionable character, eh? Yes, the house does seem to have become something of a magnet for rum fellows of late. Thanks to that bally curse. A convict's curse, you mean? Ah, heard the stories, have you? Rotten scoundrel was arrested here, then the next chap in the room goes and keels over. And then there was that woman who dropped dead just outside on the street, not to mention the actor yesterday. Excuse you, Miss Green isn't dead. My next day? Well, can't help but get the collywobbles, can't you? When you say the woman who dropped dead outside on the street, do you mean Miss Green? Because Miss Green, who was stabbed by the knife, and Mr. Shamspear, who was poisoned last night, are both very much alive still. Yes, well, so is that blasted convict's curse, it seems. Personally, I should be quite content with such lodgings. A bath, a toilet, a fireplace, fascinating history. Why, it sounds like the lap of luxury. I'm not so sure about that. Well, there's no bath or toilet included, and no fireplace either. But you do look out for your tenants, don't you? By watching the rise and fall of the flames in your gas lamps up here. Yep, never hurts to keep an eye on things, in case there are any mishaps or such like. I think you've had your mishap already, sir. That's not helpful, Mr. Sholmes. Forgive me, the words just came to my lips. That doesn't mean you had to say them, you twit. Some fishy fellow from the Far East and a failed actor chap of questionable character, eh? No need for that, Mr. Garrideb. That's right, Mr. Natsume is in no way fishy. I didn't look up collywobbles because I was fairly sure what it meant. It meant you were spooked, you were scared. Not having a good time. I love how that's the one I didn't have to look up, and you're like, oh, she didn't have to look it up. I wanted to know. I'm gonna look it up. Okay. He is undeniably peculiar, however. We still talking about Natsume? We are talking about Natsume. Is it right that he took the vacancy immediately after the previous tenant passed away? Yep, that's right. I asked the estate agent to find someone and he popped up the very same day. Never come across a chap so keen for a place with a background, as it were. I don't think it was the room's background he was keen on so much as the cheap rent, actually. So, how long has Mr. Shamspear been lodging under your roof? Failed actor chap? Let me see. Oh, of course. It's been 3 months now. Quite sure of it. Only 3 months. He's quite new here too, then. And to what do you owe your certainty in that regard, Mr. Garrideb, if I may ask? Well, it was that Selden scoundrel, as it happens. Selden? The convict, you mean? Does Selden and Shamspear have some kind of connection, then? Tell me more about this. That convict chap, Selden, passed away in the clink 3 months ago now, you see. Some malady or other. Yeah, we've seen the report from the newspaper at the time. Well, it was only 3 days later that the tragedian showed his face. The actor fellow. Didn't they never find the stuff Selden stole? "3 days later. That is suspect." Really? Yep, I remember it quite distinctly. "'Tis small, this world we inhabit. Prithee, landlord, hear my request. I, the humble Shamspear, do desire to take thy room on the middle floor offered erewhile for rent." Terribly sorry and whatnot, but that won't be possible. I already have a lodger on the middle floor. Ground floor room's vacant, though. Nothing can be made out of nothing. Let me repeat mine will unto thee. Those curls must be muffling your ears. The room on the middle floor's taken. Ground floor or nothing. Very well, we have an accord. Glad to hear it. Welcome to Briar Road. Lo, a Shamspear dance to celebrate! From what I heard in court today, sounds like the chap was thieving gas. And he was 3 months in arrears with the rent, too. Yeah, a fellow was a bally player, all right. Arrears means he was in debt, huh? Yep. He wasn't paying his rent! Wee bastard. Thank you for your candor, Mr. Garrideb. We are most grateful. Candor, I know, is honesty. By way of appreciation, allow me to say 1 or 2 words. Give me my robe, put on my crown. I have immortal longings in me. What's happened to you? Shakespeare, my dear fellow, One of his most famous lines. I wish to divulge on my own learning of the subject, for I have a turn for literature too, you know. Perhaps you could turn your attention to more apt lines then? Alright. So, will you tell me who this guy is? Mr. Gardup, could I ask you to look at this photograph? Is that your son who's with you there? No, not at all. He was a lodger here once. Duncan Ross was his name. Duncan Ross. Street photographer happened to be passing, so I asked him to take a shot. Just for kicks, really. Was he by any chance the lodger before Mr. Natsume? Yep, that's right. Ah, the young gentleman who died in the room in mysterious circumstances. Just what Mr. Mustache was waiting for, one might say. Go smack ya. Yes, young Duncan lived in the room at the top of the first flight of stairs before that Japanese chap. Would you mind telling us a little more about him? Yeah, Duncan Ross. Young chap was attending art school. Had to work to pay for it, mind. Moved into the middle floor about a year ago, after that criminal Selden was arrested. Young students are always on the hunt for rooms with a history behind them. A history of cheap rent, maybe, yeah? Yes, well, anyway, was one morning about a month ago now. Hadn't quite worked out the old trick of watching the gas lamps to see what my lodgers are up to at the time. So, sadly, I was rather tardy to discover what had happened. Smell of gas that alerted me it was. Ah, yes, synonymous with the smell of death. Called the police straight away, of course, and the officer kicked the door off its hinges. But once we got inside, we all bally collapsed. Because of the gas? Yep, room was full of it. No air at all. Stove must have gone out while the poor chap was sleeping in his bed. So Mr. Ross suffocated to death. Of course, the police gave me a sound ticking off because the gas pipes were all so old and all that. Can't tell you how much it sent me back to have the lot replaced all over the house. But even after you had all that work done, Mr. Natsume says the same thing. The stove goes out at night whilst he's asleep in bed. Well, that's the bally curse! The convict's curse! I've done my duty as a landlord now. Someone's feeling defensive. That reminds me, actually. Yeah? About young Duncan, the night before the poor chap perished. He'd been writing a letter of affection to a young lady. A love letter, you mean? Yes. Where did I put it now? Ah, here it is. Left it on my desk. If you'll excuse me, let me see now. What does it say? To my most beautiful and charming sweetheart. Do you think we should be reading such a personal piece of correspondence? My dear Miss Susato, that is precisely why I prefaced my reading with an, "If you'll excuse me." I will not excuse you, Mr. Sholmes. No. Sadly, he didn't address it, though. So, I've no means of delivering the thing. Rather sad, really. I see. That's gonna play on my mind. Really, the identity of Mr. Ross's sweetheart has no bearing on the case. I think we should leave well alone. Yeah, I suppose you're right. Indeed, the intended recipient's address is missing. However, there is a name attributed to the man's most beautiful and charming sweetheart. Mr. Sholmes, please! I've already had to chastise you about this once. Is it bad that I want to see Sholmes get tossed with a Susato takedown? Is that a bad thing? My undying love to you, my colorful darling. Olive green. Oh, olive green? The woman who was plunged into a coma after a knife plunged into her back outside this house 5 days ago. The victim of the last case Saseki-san was in court for, who regained consciousness only yesterday. Is it just chance that her name has come up now? Could it possibly be a mere coincidence? Mr. Naruhodo, whatever can this be? Reading personal correspondence can have its merits, you see, Miss Susato. Goober. Let's go deliver her love's final letter, I suppose. Miss Green, we have mail for you. The mail might hurt, though. As if... Mr. Naruhodo, I've just finished speaking with the doctor. It seems Miss Green is well enough to be discharged at last. This is good news, but hopefully just before she leaves... Ah! What is it? Miss Green? Huh. What was that? She clearly just hid something behind her back. One moment. I'll be with you in a jiffy. Oh, hello everyone. What are you all doing here? The doctor has said I can be discharged, so I'm just getting my things together. Miss Green, what were you just doing? Oh, nothing, really. I was just about to take some medicine that the doctor prescribed for me, that's all. Oh, we were hoping to have another quick chat with you, if that's all right. I don't really have anything else to tell you. Alright, she's definitely behaving strangely. Let's see if we can't coax something out of her. Well, don't mind me. What kind of... This is the card that Miss Green was looking at so intently before, isn't it? Mr. Naruhodo, we shouldn't be peeking at a young woman's private effects. Right. I should save peeking for gentlemen's effects only. You mustn't do that either. And maybe you, Miss Susato, shouldn't be peeking into a young man's mind either, huh? This is the bottle Miss Green was just about to drink from when we arrived. Yes, she looked rather preoccupied, didn't she? Perhaps it's very bitter. I can't stand bitter medicine. I suppose that could be it. In fact, whenever the doctor prescribes me medicine for a number of days, I always take it all at once. That's bad, don't do that. Oh no! Well, if you have to take something you don't like, it's best to get it all out of the way in one go, isn't it? Oh dear. I thought it was Miss Green I should be worrying about at the moment. I got an achievement! Alright, let's... chat. And then show her the picture! Because if Duncan is her, like, her beau, was, past tense, guy's dead. It's wonderful news that you're going to be discharged, Miss Green. Oh, yes, I mean, thank you. Once people are better, the hospital staff don't want them lingering and wasting space. Not people like me, anyway. So I don't think I should keep anyone waiting. I probably shouldn't stand around and chat. She certainly doesn't seem to be in the mood to talk, that's for sure. Oh. Mr. Garadeb told us about us? About, Duncan? How about you chat with us about Duncan? Miss Green, we were hoping to ask you about someone. Mr. Duncan Ross. You knew him, didn't you? Oh! Well. Oh no, I'm so sorry. The bottle of medicine fell down when she did. Oh, Miss Green, are you all right? I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to startle you like that. No, it's all right. I just wasn't expecting it. But how do you know about Duncan? Mr. Ross had been writing a letter when he passed away. The landlord found it in his room. It was a very personal letter. To you. It was at the art school. That's where I met Duncan. A year ago now. He was working to fund his studies. He dreamt of becoming a professional artist one day. And the two of you became romantically involved? Yes, that's right. We were very much in love. We were engaged to be married, actually. That's why he decided to move into a cheaper room, to save money for the wedding. And that's what led him to Mr. Garadeb's. Yes, told me he'd found the worst but cheapest room in the entire East End. And then, 1 month ago, that's when it happened. I'm so terribly sorry, Miss Green. Well, it's all in the past now, I suppose. Poor Miss Green. She looks desperately sad. I'm starting to think that's just her look. But now I see that she has every reason to feel the universe is against her. I do hope you won't think I'm being rude, but would you mind leaving me in peace now? I have to leave the hospital soon. Oh, I'm so sorry. We didn't mean to hold you up. Of course, we'll be on our way. Mr. Naruhodo! Surely you were not about to leave? That's quite out of the question. What? Mr. Sholmes? I didn't realize you were here. But of course I was, my dear fellow. Watching intently from the shadows, as always. But Make your presence known next time. Mr. Sholmes, what's this about? Something which occurs to me with some regularity, Miss Susato, is this. Why do detectives insist on an ex post facto modus operandi? Why solve a case after it's happened, instead of preventing a case before it happens? That's what sets a great detective apart. Okay, that's just a leaf. Sorry, there's a shadow on the curtain. I thought it was a bird. Anyway. Birds like that bush. Although they probably don't like it as much when it's that windy. What do you mean? There's a case waiting to happen under our very noses, Mr. Naruhodo. So let us avert disaster. Let us prevent this case from ever happening with nothing but careful observation. Alright. All the clues you need are set before you. You need only look, and you cannot fail to see. You can do it, Mr. Naruhodo. I know you can. You know what I can do? Have some liquid. Oh no, the mousey. A mouse seems to be dead, look. I didn't notice it there before, did you? I think perhaps it drank the medicine that spilled out of the bottle. But that's the bottle Miss Green was about to drink from when we arrived. You don't think... Ah, I've seen you've come to appreciate the true nature of this scene. That of a tragedy about to take place. I think it's falling into place. Miss Green, the contents of the bottle you had before has spilt out on the floor. And the poor mouse that drank it has sadly died. Ah! I think it's clear that the bottle must have contained a powerful poison. Don't worry. I will attend to the mouse presently. Thank you for removing the dead creature from the room. Miss Green, were you intending to go the same way as that rodent? To take your own life? Ah! Once we'd left, you would have put it to your lips again, wouldn't you? And taken the poison. No. Miss Green, please. Please, talk to us. Alright, let's look at this now that I probably can. Definitely feels as though this card must be relevant. I mean, when we first arrived, Miss Green was standing with it in her hand, which in what can only be described as a very tense atmosphere. Yes. May very well be related to whatever incident Mr. Sholmes believes was about to happen here. Perhaps we should ask Miss Green about it. Alright. Let's chat. Alright. Well, this is gonna be heavy. I'm taking a moment to hype myself up because this is gonna be heavy. 10 seconds later, and we would have arrived at a very different scene here. Oh, probably. It would not have been as pretty a scene. In all probability, we would not have enjoyed this most delightful conversation. Of course, Perhaps it hasn't been quite so delightful from your perspective, Miss Green. Actually, in a way, now that everything's out in the open, I feel like a weight has been lifted. Tell me, how did you acquire that medicine? Well, with this being a hospital and all, when the doctor comes to examine me in the mornings, he always leaves the medicine cabinet open for a while, so I snuck this out when he wasn't looking. It conspicuously lacks a label. I wonder what it contains. I'm afraid I don't really know. But I thought if I drank it, it might just stop the pain somehow. Oh, please, Miss Green, don't talk of such things. It seems clear now that it contains poison. Yes, poor little mouse is proof of that. Oh no, oh, it's all my fault. What have I done? I shall remove this to my office, Miss Green. I take it you have no objection. No, none. So the little card? Neither the sender's name or address appears to be written on the envelope or the card. That envelope is torn in a very specific way. It could just be the illustration trying to show that the envelope is torn, but it arrived by post at my home the day before the incident that put me in hospital here. I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on the 17th. Don't tell anybody else about this letter or the meeting. It is a matter of utmost importance. I can see why you were going there. Wait a minute, the 17th? Of this month? No. Of course not. It's the 17th of April. That's the day you were stabbed on Briar Road. And 5 p.m. is precisely the time when the incident occurred. The Slug and Salad. Yes, a pub on the northern corner of Briar Road. Briar Road being the street Mr. Garrideb's house is on. Does this mean that... Yes, I'm sure you've all guessed. That day, when I was struck in the back by the knife, I was actually on my way to the Slug and Salad. Not a very appealing name for a pub, I must say. Goodness. So, that's what you were doing on Briar Road that day. Sorry I didn't say anything before. I think I really will have to ask you to excuse me now. So as long as you don't do anything stupid. I've told you everything. Yes, I'm very sorry to have had to drag up such painful memories for you. No, it's fine. Miss Green, please promise us you won't try to do anything like that again. Yes, don't worry. Your detective friend has the bottle now anyway. And besides, I've been stabbed in the back and had a close shave with a bottle of poison, and I'm still here. I think I'm destined to see things through to the end. It might sound a little conceited, but, well, that's how all this has made me feel. Leaving Miss Green and St. Bartholomew's behind, we made our way back to Baker Street with Mr. Sholmes. Well, it would appear we've reached the end of the investigative trail for today. Yeah, it's late. And Mr. Naruhodo, did you discover anything that may be of use to you in court tomorrow, do you think? Details about Mr. Shamspear, Mr. Gyardeb's lodgings, the convict Selden. Many facets to this case, and we're yet to see the heart of it if you ask me. That's my feeling anyway. Can't help wondering about the results of the analysis. Into Mr. Natsume's tea, you mean? Yes. Will they have found strychnine in it or not? Well, I fear that either way, it will be hard to escape the grip of our friend Mr. Reaper. Oh dear. Yes, Barock Van Zykes. But I wish you every success, of course, and though I was late to rise this morning, tomorrow will be a new dawn. I intend to spring from my bed at a crisp hour and attend the trial. Mr. Sholmes, you're gonna come? Indeed, whatever happens, I shall be there. Assuming my eyelids cooperate in the morning. Oh, mood. Anyway. Well, I think we've done all we can. All that's left is to remain focused and keep fighting for Mr. Natsume's case until the very end. London, the world's most prosperous city, home to some 6 million people, but away from the razzle-dazzle down back alleys and behind bricked-up windows, the lonely lurk. Saseki-san had battled long and hard with loneliness during his many months here, and so I felt honor-bound to battle equally hard for my compatriot, to lift the curse that gripped him. As Mr. Sholmes said, tomorrow would be a new dawn for all of us. To be continued. I'm not stopping though. I'm still going. Because defendant's antechamber. Let's talk with Saseki. Personal space? Are you a cat again? This is it then, Mr. Naruhodo. Yeah, it's time to put an end to this now. To the miserable curse that has been plaguing Mr. Natsume. To everything. And in my own small way, I shall do everything I can to help you. I always appreciate your help, Miss Susato. Suffering Saseki selfishly sidelined. Eh? Good morning to you too, Mr. Natsume. Good morning? Good morning, locum student Mr. Naruhodo, Esquire. Listen to you two chatting away happily as if the main player of today's trial isn't here. Why would you do that? Why? Oh dear. Didn't mean to cause offense, Mr. Natsume. I thought perhaps because you had your eyes shut so tightly you were meditating, finding inner calm. It seemed wrong to disturb you. I was waiting. What's the matter, Mr. Natsume? You seem different somehow today. Why, naturally, that's because I've attained spiritual enlightenment. The path of literature, you see, is a journey to discover one's own death. Or such like. That's the sort of morning conversation I was hoping for. That's why I had my eyes shut. I missed the signs, I'm afraid. Somehow. You'll have to forgive me. And you mustn't talk of your path leading you to death, Mr. Natsume. Now, please don't. I kind of want to avoid that. That was just an example. Oh yes, there it is. Inner calm. You barely came to see me at all yesterday. It's almost like we were investigating to pull your ass out of the fire. Not that you're in the fire as much. We pulled your ass out of the fire yesterday, but now it's like in the frying pan. So we kind of want to douse the fire entirely. My metaphors don't make any sense. I was sure you'd abandoned me and returned to our beautiful long-lost homeland. We've not even been in Great Britain a week yet. Yes, well, anyway. I intend to set everything straight in court today. I'm determined to uncover the truth. I've actually reached an important decision myself. Oh? What sort of decision? I shall fill you in after the trial. Alright. It would seem Mr. Sholmes isn't coming today after all. It's a very clever message, I think. My dear fellows, you must win this battle on your own merits. It's a very clear message, I think, that he's overslept again. The great detective? My arch nemesis? Long may he stay away. If you ask me. Defendant, and your legal representative. Trial is about to begin. Make your way into the courtroom immediately. Today, once again, we face the Reaper. And when the Reaper stands for the prosecution, the defendant's fate is sealed. But I don't believe in that legend any more than I believe in Soseki-san's curse. The truth is hidden here somewhere, and I won't let it escape me. I have to keep believing in my client, and keep fighting to the very end, that's all. Courtroom! Oh, well, the jurors are the same. Wild. It's not like that happens in trials. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. Call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is ready. Yes, the defense is ready. Very good. And now I call upon the 6 ladies and gentlemen of the jury, chosen by lot to represent the will of the people in this trial. Are you ready to proceed? Absolutely. Justice will be done. You mark my words. I feel obliged to say I feel especially ruthless on days when my hat is sitting just right. I thought you were ruthless on the days when your hat was askew. Oh, Well, I wonder if you could adjust my hat for me. And please be as ruthless as you like. Stop flirting. Thieves deserve to die, if you ask me. Especially gas thieves. I have no sympathy for the man at all. Look, I said it yesterday, I'll say it again now. I don't have time for this. I got my own problems. Oh, may the Lord show us all the light here, and lead his flock to a righteous verdict again today. Now, Lord Van Zykes, what can you tell us? The prosecution's report, please, for the court. In relation to the theory expounded by the defense yesterday regarding the defendant's tea. So he does have the results. Before the prosecution delivers the black news about the black tea belonging to the black guard in the dock, pray, allow me a moment to savor a liquid of a more sanguine hue. Vampire allegations! In fact, I'll defer to the good detective for the report. Here's to you, Inspector. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. As indicated by the defense, we found a bar of soap just outside the victim's window in the snow. And there was indeed a frozen reddish liquid in a little depression on the top of it. Yes, that's the tea. That's what Mr. Natsume brought with him that night. Well, the brains at the yard analyzed it, and yeah, you're right, it was tea. And there wasn't a trace of strychnine or any other toxic substance in it. No poison at all. That's what we thought, Susato. Don't look so shocked. In other words, the tea the defendant brought with him to the victim's room is innocent. It's in the clear. What a revelation! As I suspected. This makes it quite clear. The defendant, Mr. Saseki Natsume... Okay! My learned friend is jumping to conclusions again. A typical Nipponese reaction. What? Yes, it's true. No poison was found in the few drops of liquid recovered from the soap on the window ledge. But what logic is that? Would you take a drop from the Thames and conclude the water in the ocean isn't salty? My word, the water in the ocean is extremely salty, Counsel. Exactly! Unfit for drinking, just as the victim's tea was on the night in question, as the court has already heard. Bitter was the precise word from the lips of Mr. William Shamspeare. Well, that just means it wasn't well-made tea. It was steeped too long or something. Whom the prosecution now calls back to the stand. It's like you don't even know how tea works, my guy. Black tea? Whew. I'm saying this as a tea drinker. Unless you add like some sugar or some cream or some honey or something. bit her. Mr. Shamspear. Yep, sounds like we're going to have another confrontation with our theatrical friend. Bailiff, show Mr. Shamspear to the stand. Hello. I trust you about as far as I can throw you. And I am saying that me personally could throw you. I would love for Susata to throw you, though. Victim of this despicable crime. Oh heaven, oh hell, do you command me to remember? Forsooth, 'twas I, Shamspear, did have a belly full of the foul fluid given, in mine innocence. Okay, I love his face, though. He's a goober. Yes, but as was revealed in yesterday's proceedings, the witness is not as innocent as we perhaps first been led to believe. By using bars of soap such as this, he's been stealing gas from the supply company. Yes. One may smile and be a villain. Forsooth, 'twas I, Shamspear, did have a roomful of the sweet fuel given. That's right, fellow jurors, don't forget, this man's a rotten thief. I haven't forgotten. Kept all that about the ice coins a tidy secret, didn't you? Should have owned up sooner. Arrest him, I say. Arrest him at once, and let him feel the sting in my tail. Oh, indeed, by dint of vile and cowardly means have I plotted to further mine own ends. I confess. Thou wouldst not pardon my sins, of that I am sure. If you acknowledge your wrongdoing, what exactly are you doing here? Cowards die many times before their deaths, and for a coward such as I, a death be well deserved. But would it that still a greater crime passeth unpunished? For lo, the hairy-faced gentleman of farther east than Verona did contrive to poison me. Okay.
Objection.
We've spring-loaded the man, apparently. But there was no poison in the tea found in your room. The police have attested to that. What the defense would assert is an inconsistency will be cleared up quickly by the witness's testimony. I keep reordering these things. Why? Is that not so, Mr. Shamspear? Verily, my liege, I would most gladly speak. Very well, let the witness testify to explain this inconsistency. It saved. So this is important, probably. Tell the court why it is that poison apparently entered your body, though none was found in the tea. The tea inconsistency! The Japanese man did come to my chamber with tea brewed in a pot. 'Twas in my cup alone that the wicked miscreant secretly poured his wicked poison. Whilst feigning distraction in our debate, ne'er did a drop of his own drink pass his lips. When he departed by and by, I did use the tea that remained in his cup to make my coins of ice. Thus, 'tis no surprise that poison be not found in the tea I did pour into the molds of soap. Looks so smug. The poison was slipped into the cup after the tea had been poured. the normal way for poison to be administered, in my experience. Quite. Otherwise, it would be disastrous if the poisoner were to mix up the cups, for instance. But no poison bottle was found at the scene. Because, quite simply, the Nipponese took the bottle back to his own room. The absence of a vessel containing the poison only becomes problematic when considering suicide. Knew that. By now, it should be perfectly clear. A bar or two of cheap soap is wholly insufficient to wash the deep stains of guilt from the accused's hands. Sirs, madams, 'tis true that I, Shamspeare, be a common thief of gas. But, listen here, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh, he's pissed. Wherefore would I lie? Verily, I have no cause. I have naught to lose. You have plenty of money to lose. Trust me. I know. I know what's up. He wanted the middle room. He probably still wants the middle room. Well, I do declare. Thank you for your testimony, witness. Counsel, proceed with the cross-examination. Yes, my lord. Alright, let's cross-examine the smug bastard. Let me just double check I have the... Excuse me, I have to update them. Because the game decided to steal this from me. Oh no. It didn't steal it from me, this is a different game. This is a different save than the one I had examined, the teacups. Do you know why? I had to get Natsume to show up. I have to get all the evidence updated. Excuse me. Alright. Okay. Secretly poured his Wiccan's poison. Feigning distraction, ne'er did a drop of his own drink pass his lips. When he departed by and by. Do you know what happens when tea sits in a cup for a while? Ring.
Objection!
You claim that Mr. Natsume didn't drink a drop of tea on the night in question. Itchy. And that you used the tea that was left in his cup to make your fake coins. but that's not possible. How? Chop logic. What is this, ye darky-clad fiend? The two teacups from the scene, one used by the victim and the other by the defendant, have a clear difference between them. One that represents incontrovertible proof. Incontrovertible? What difference? Look at the inside of the cups. Just here, there's a clearly visible ring. Yes, a tea ring. Commonplace enough. Indeed, such stains occur all too readily when one leaves tea in the cup for a while. And yet, Mr. Natsume's cup has no such ring. Lord, you're right! It's completely clean! And prithee, sir, what makest thou of it? Exactly what Mr. Natsume told the court yesterday, the Japanese saying he quoted. Drink tea while it's hot. That's right, yes. The jittery Mr. Natsume was true to his usual self that night and drank his tea in no time. Oh, I think I've caught something. If, as you claim in your testimony, he didn't touch a drop of his tea, a ring would have developed on the inside of his cup as well after the several hours the tea was left standing. But, in short, Mr. Shamspear, you clearly lied to the court. Get thee to a nunnery!
Objection!
Are you gonna eat your hallowed chalice again? As a rule, I filled my hallowed chalice up to 7 times during any one trial. Yeah, 'cause you keep throwing it. You might want to keep that information to yourself. Oh, hey look, he's filling it. Yet, on occasion, tedium distracts me, and I pour more times than I intended until the bottle is dry. Your drinking habits are fascinating, but irrelevant. Oh, are you saying that, like, adding more drink will, like, take the... On the contrary, they illustrate the fickleness of human memory. To William Shamspear. Yes, my liege? Though you previously stated you made the coins of ice from the leftover tea in the accused's cup, could it be that you were perhaps mistaken? Eh? Don't give him an out. Don't give him an out. Could it be that, yes, perhaps there was some tea remaining in the small teapot left at the scene? A fact that had vanished from your memory until now? Why are you giving him an out? Jerk. Faith, my liege, thou art a magician. For verily, 'tis as though thou hast seen with thine own eyes that night. You're giving him an out. Why are you doing that? Forsooth, I was mistook. I did plan to use tea from the Japanese fellow's cup, but lo, when I looked, 'twas empty. And thus did I use the dregs that festered in the teapot, as my liege did suggest.
Objection!
Stop giving him an out. And you've just suddenly remembered now that you made a mistake before. Are we supposed to believe that?
Objection!
People's memories are imperfect, my learned friend, which is why we rely on evidence instead. But in any case, it makes no difference. The victim's most recent testimony tells us two things of note. Firstly, that the poison was put into the victim's teacup only, and secondly, that this spoiled cup was not the source of the insipid ice coins that have bewitched this court. The prosecution makes a fine summary of the facts. Furthermore, that testimony remains valid and in full support of the established facts. In other words, the inconsistency claimed by the defense simply does not exist. No. What does this mean, then? I do declare it means there's no issue with the gas thief's testimony. Apart from the bit about thieving gas, obviously. My lords, ladies, and gentlemen of the jury, I do solemnly swear, after I did dine at Grubb's Grubbery alehouse that night, naught did pass my lips but the black tea given me by the Japanese, whose back be stooped as low as death. And on what did you dine, sir? Why, I did partake of my favourites, a broth as wouldst be called soup, and a leaf as wouldst be called salad. As insalubrious a menu as the establishment where it was served. Pardon me? Not healthy. Hey, there was a salad. It's healthy. The salad makes it healthy, didn't you know? You call it a salad, it's fine. Which is why people call Cool Whip and Snickers and apples a salad. Was there any Jell-O in that? There might have been Jell-O in that. Here we go. Pudding. And marshmallows. There is apples, though. It's healthy. It's fine. But you gods will give us some faults to make us men. Willingly would I suffer what punishment 'tis seen fit to serve a wicked thief of gas. But I pray ye wise and noble fellows, ne'er forget the simple truth. That be one thing and this be another. Jurors all, your humble servants Shamspeare doth entreat you, punish the Japanese fellow for his sins. My lord! If I may speak, my lord? Yes, Mr. Foreman. I believe we may have been duped by that rotten defense lawyer. By me? I do declare you may be right. We all know the waif there was making coins of ice to keep himself warm. But this lawyer lad says that if he's stealing gas, he deserves a dose of poison, eh? He's been leading us up the garden path, that's what he's been doing. I really never said anything like that. But what we just heard from the victim there has opened our eyes again. We've reached a decision this time, and we won't be swayed from it. Well, I'm still gonna do the talkie-talkie. Summation examination. The talkie-talkie. The court acknowledges the position of the jury foreman. And will duly hear the jury's findings. What? No! You can't yet! Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will state your decisions now.
Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
Bam, 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 bam. I hereby declare the jury to be in one accord. Oh, happy day! Oh, don't wiggle like that. That's creepy. Don't do it. Cease. How is this happening? My lord, the defense asserts its right to carry out a summation examination. Very well. The court upholds the defense's right. Typical. My learned friend is unable to accept the obvious truth. This trial will therefore enter its second summation examination immediately. What, when Shamsphere started wiggling like that? Jurors, the court calls upon each of you to state the grounds upon which you find the defendant guilty of the crime of which he is charged. I apologize for the timing of the wiggling. I can't do anything about that. I'm a man of logic, me, and having considered all the evidence, the defendant must logically be guilty. I do agree that gas is far too expensive. I can quite understand why the man would want to avoid paying. Stuff explodes and it can poison you. It's absolutely lethal, gas is. Gas doesn't come for free. Costs a fortune to deliver it around the city and maintain the pipes. Truth be told, the tea my wife serves up for me is a little sketchy at times. If nothing else passed the victim's lips that night, there's no other explanation, is there? I do feel that perhaps personal opinion about gas and its supply has influenced decisions somewhat. But never mind. No, you really should mind. Truth is, our counter-argument wasn't as unassailable as we'd hoped. And Mr. Shamsphere was poisoned, there can be no doubt of that. How are we supposed to turn this around? I think we need to establish the method by which Mr. Shamsphere was actually poisoned. I looked it up. Strychnine can poison you if you inhale it. Although I don't think they'd put strychnine in, like... maybe there's just shitty pipes. Our only hope is to demonstrate that to the court incontrovertibly. But that's surely almost impossible at this stage. If we don't manage it, though, Mr. Natsume will be found guilty. No delays, counsel. Proceed with the summation examination. I'm gonna work backwards from Juror 6 for the pressing.
Hold it!
Does that mean that if the victim could be shown to have ingested something else, you'd change your leaning? Eh? Sorry, what's that now? Oh, I was just saying if the victim did actually eat or drink something else on the night. What's the matter with you? Sorry? I said if nothing else passed the victim's lips that night, there's no other explanation, is there? Haven't you been listening to me at all? I feel like there's an English expression about a pot and a kettle that's appropriate here. Compared to the other jurors who don't even appear to have anything to say about the case at all, it would seem this elderly gentleman has been listening to the proceedings far more intently. I suppose. Trouble is, he has selective hearing. Exactly, but still, this juror may well be the key to the breakthrough that we so desperately need. We have to prove it happened some other way, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, working backward from number 6 was probably a poor plan. Watch everyone involved and pursue people if they react to something someone else says. Alright, so someone is going to need to be pursued. I know how pursuit works. Shit. No tutorial. Alright, at least this guy won't jump me into, oh, do you need reminded on how the game works? Because I don't.
Hold it!
You mean it's poisoned? That's right. Happened a tidy few times now. This is most troubling indeed. It's always days like this one when I don't get any wages. I get in at tea time, see? And I see her doing it. My wife! She gets that devilish look on her face and she slips some white powder into my cup. And you drink it anyway? I was brought up proper, I was. If someone gives you a cuppa, you drink it. And what happened to you? What did it taste like? It was god-awful, believe you me. Salty as hell. Because your wife slips a white powder into your cup. Okay, I don't think she's poisoning you. I think she's taking out her anger or mixing up the sugar. Then I think perhaps what your wife put in your tea was salt. No. So, she doesn't even care enough to poison me properly, eh? Unbelievable. Let's move on, please. Costs a fortune.
Hold it!
Can we please refrain from all this talk of gas? There's an all-out attack underway here, in case you hadn't noticed, against my company's gas. I'm supposed to sit here and take it, am I? I don't think so. She's really buzzing now. All I've heard about our wonderful fuel is explosions and poisonings. What about electricity, huh? What about getting electrocuted? What about that? Little explosion here and there is nothing in comparison. Any explosion could hardly be described as nothing, madam. Nevertheless, the theft of your gas is deplorable. My point exactly. The gas thieves aren't even the worst of our enemies. We have far more devious reprobates to contend with on a daily basis, you know. More devious? Who, madam? Other gas companies, of course. Other gas companies. Not quite what I was expecting. We generate gas and we deliver it to our customers fair and square. Indeed, nobody's questioning that, madam. Altamont is an exemplary gas company. There are other unscrupulous gas companies here in London that don't even have any gas at all. What? But if they don't have any gas, how do they go around selling it to people? You wouldn't think it possible, would you? But they steal our gas, see? Sell that. They steal your gas. How on earth is such a thing possible? Gas companies like ours deliver gas to people's homes via a network of pipes. But these devious reprobates secretly disconnect our pipes and divert our gas into their own rotten pipes. Then they make a contract with the household supplied by those pipes and take money for the precious gas that's rightfully ours without us even knowing. They're diverting gas into their own pipes illegally? What a brazen form of theft. When we visit customers' houses to collect the money from their meters, we always have to check whether or not one of these devious companies has been up to its tricks. Ooh. We have tricks. Do you have something to say about that, juror number 3? Oh, golly, you mean me? I'm terribly sorry. I was just thinking to myself. I really did catch him off guard there. Thinking about what the lady next to you was saying, correct? Well, yes. I just got a little riled up about it recently, you see. Go on. An Altamont gas worker visited my house the other day to investigate the pipe work. We need to ask for your cooperation while we carry out a secret check of your property, sir, the fellow said. So I let him in, and do you know what he did? I'm afraid I have no idea. Please tell us. He proceeded to take one of my lights off the wall. Then he grabbed the exposed mouth of the pipe and started blowing into it. What do you think you're doing, young man? You're giving away company secrets there. Oh, please, everybody knows. It is very nearly the death of me, I can tell you. What do you mean? I'll explain, if you don't mind. As I said before, these unscrupulous other gas companies connect their customers to our pipe network. Yes, but how does blowing into the pipes come into it? Obviously, there's gas in the pipes, and if it's a fairly low pressure, by blowing air through the pipe, you can make the pressure drop temporarily. And if you do that, any lights connected to the same pipe will flicker for a moment. Oh, I see. In other words, if upon blowing into the pipe, the lights of an adjacent property that has no contract with your company flicker, you can know that these devious scoundrels have been meddling with the pipes. Exactly, my lord. That's it in a nutshell. It's the reason why we have teams of workers going around neighborhoods to investigate which lights flicker. Trouble is, the particular worker who came to my house didn't know the strength of his own breath. He blew down the pipe with all his might, and you can guess what happened, can't you? Well, if he blew hard, then... Wait, you mean... That's right! Lights didn't just flicker, they went out, along with the stove. Gas started pouring into the house. What a disaster. Gas supply must have been interrupted briefly because the man blew too hard so the flames went out. I'm afraid I yelled at the fella. Are you trying to kill us all? I said. So by disconnecting a lamp and blowing into the exposed gas pipe... Wait, let me look at something. That picture is, in fact, directly underneath the lamp. I thought the lamp had something to do with it. It's possible to extinguish lamps and stoves connected to the same network of pipes. And then when the gas starts flowing again, it just silently seeps into the room. Mr. Naruhodo, I think perhaps, yes, this is almost certainly the clue we've been hoping for. Juror number 3, defense requests you amend your statement to include that information. Oh, well, if you like. I don't mind. Well, I do. That's our company's secret method of identifying the rogues that try to... Like I said, madam, it's widely known already. Very well. Juror number 3, you will amend your statement accordingly. Yes, my lord. Although I'm not really sure what the point of all this is. Blow too hard into a gas pipe and you extinguish everything in the house. And then you're in real trouble. So if, perhaps, possibly, Shamspear wanted to extinguish everything in the house, didn't the other guy who had the middle room die because there was gas? Right. Boop, 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 boop.
Objection.
Alright, hello. Those two statements clearly contradict each other. Gracious. To whose statements do you refer to, counsel? Juror number 6, did you hear what juror number 3 just said? Eh? What? Yes. Of course. I heard him mumbling about something or other. There is another explanation here, I believe. Something besides Mr. Natsume's tea did, in a manner of speaking, pass the victim's lips on the night in question. What? What explanation? I wonder, did the police check the mouth of the gas pipe feeding the wall light at the scene? To see if there were any traces of poison there. I was curious to see what your floundering would result in this time, but the mouth of a gas pipe... Scotland Yard have enough to do without exploring such irrelevance. What a piece of work is a man! What is a man? A miserable little pile of secrets. But enough talk! Anyway, what are you trying to say, Mr. Shamspear? What speakest thou? Prithee, is it not strange and strange? That is what I say to thee, sir. Why are you doing... I thought I'd been quite clear, but let me put it another way. The strychnine could have been on the mouth of the gas pipe that feeds the wall lamp in your room. And that is how the poison came to enter your body. Oh my gosh, they had to redo the pipes after the first tenant died. They had to replace all the pipes. I've connected the two dots! So anyway, Shamspear is just as bad as the convict who previously had the middle room. Good lord! Are they tasty then, gas pipes? Is that what he's saying? Or is the gentleman suggesting the poor man was so desperately hungry he tried to fill his belly with gas? What I'm suggesting is he blew out all the stuff in the house. Perhaps no actress would perform a kiss scene with him, For shame, madam, speaking thy fancy. I assure you, I'm not such a buffoon that I have to kiss pipes.
Objection!
Yes. This is no summation examination. This is a farce. The prosecution will not stand for any more of my learned Nipponese friend's conjecture. Did you hear me, Van Zykes? I said I've connected the dots. To begin with, the lamp on the victim's room is high on the wall. In order to place his lips to the pipe that feeds it, he would have to be a contortionist. Wasn't there... Sorry, I'm pulling up... There was a box directly underneath the painting that has handprints all around it that is underneath the gas lamp. I have connected the dots. These are empty assertions. How many wine glasses do you go through in like a week? Good gosh. There is no possible proof the man did as you say.
Objection!
It's true, I have no proof that Mr. Shakespeare put his lips to the pipe. However, I can say with some certainty that on multiple occasions, Mr. Shakespeare has been doing something in front of the lamp on his wall. And I have evidence to prove it. Alright, you've got our attention, lad. I'd like to see how you can be so sure of yourself. So would I. Let's see this evidence then. I got the jury's ear. I need to make this opportunity count. This is the proof that time and time again, Mr. Shakespeare stood in front of his gas lamp.
Take that!
What the? These are... Wait, what are they called? Yes, skin prints that were found at the scene. Handprints, technically, but no, we're just gonna go with skin prints. Skin prints, counsel? I've never heard of such things. The Justice Ministry is currently assessing whether or not to permit fingerprints in court, however. My lord, this is an exciting new forensic technique developed by the great detective Mr. Sherlock Holmes. It reveals all of the places that Mr. Shakespeare touched in his room. Never seen anything like it. I mean, that's black magic, isn't it? It is science, my good man. Well, if anyone could invent something like this, it's that great Sholmes fellow, that's for sure. I agree, this month's edition of Engineering Thumbs was quite fascinating. We found skin prints in many places that you would expect, on the table, on the costumes. However, Mr. Shakespeare also appears to have been touching some very unexpected places in his room. For example, here. Around the hanging picture there, indeed, multiple handprints appear to be visible. Well, I wonder, could he have been appreciating the artwork, perhaps? At first, my colleagues and I thought the same. However, imagine standing with your hands where those prints are, and you would find yourself directly in front of... Oh! I don't believe it! The gas lamp! Though the reason why isn't immediately obvious, it's clear that Mr. Shamspeare has regularly been standing with his hands to his wall in front of that lamp. Right, what have you been up to, you nut? Flick. I'd ask the court to recall juror number 4's earlier statement. Me? What did I say? You said that blowing into a gas pipe would make the lights in the entire building flicker. And now, if you recall juror number 3's statement... What? Me now? When the gas worker who visited his home blew with too much force into the pipe, caused all the lights in the gas stove to go out and gas to start leaking into the rooms. Obviously that incident was an accident, however, the simple fact is, if Mr. Shamspeare were to have blown hard into the gas pipe here in his room, he could have extinguished every other light and gas stove in the building at will. Crikey! Are you suggesting that the man purposely caused the gas to...
Objection!
Of course you object. I will also take a drink. Whilst I acknowledge that the prosecution is required to remain silent during a summation examination, I must toast my learned friend's utter disregard for the letter of the law. What is the meaning of this, Lord Van Zykes? This curious photograph, or whatever it is, presented by the defense, the so-called skin prints. Clearly, that cannot be accepted as any form of usable evidence in this case. Oh, like the blood thing was? But it's an exciting new forensic technique, developed by our great detective. It's nothing. A mere toy developed by an amateur sleuth with far too much time on his hands. I made that more dramatic than it needed to be, but you know. Certainly, even research of this nature by the esteemed Mr. Sholmes cannot be recognized by the court as formal evidence. But... Whoopst. Please, my lord, if I may. Miss Susato? It was not the defense's intention to submit the skin prints as formal evidence. We merely wished to present the results of the great detective's investigation of the scene as a tool by which to explain a possibility to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Take that! And if the trial were to come to an end now, we should never learn the truth behind these mysterious handprints that everyone has now seen. I don't believe we can allow that to happen, and I'm sure the jurors would agree. You're right. Whether those strange handprints are a significant clue or not, it's down to us to decide. Juror number 3. Oh yes, I do declare that the great detective's investigation results sound absolutely fascinating. And I want to hear what that shady actor fellow has to say about those shady handprints. Bop. Yay! What's the matter with you two? That was foolhardy. Well, I did say it, didn't I? And I don't like to break a promise. No, wait! You heard his lordship! It's not fair to give evidence! Bitch. Oh, well done, Mr. Naruhodo. I think it was a good chunk you, bud. If just one more juror changes his or her mind, Mr. Natsume's trial will have to continue. Thank you, Miss Susato, but I couldn't have done it without you. Oh, no, it was you who identified the clue after all. This was very much your success. Ooh, Shamspeare is getting nervous. Why, Mr. Shamspear, you seem to be losing your composure. Just one more juror, Mr. Naruhodo. You can do it! Very well. Continue, counsel.
Hold it!
All the evidence, you say? That's right. There's no room for doubt. It's all pointing at the Japanese man with the big mustache. Says the Englishman with the bigger mustache. The defense just demonstrated another possible explanation for the events on the night in question. What do you make of that? What, your so-called skin prints? It's an exciting new forensic investigation technique, developed by the great detective himself. The numerous handprints on the wall are clearly out of the ordinary. And if Mr. Shamspear had indeed put his mouth to the gas pipe on the night in question, it can't be denied that there's a possibility that's where the poison was. Well, yes, I won't deny it's playing on my mind. But, as the prosecution rightly says, we should pay no heed to unacceptable forms of evidence. And besides... Yes? Even if the fellow has been up to some mischief with the gas pipe dozens of times before, it doesn't mean he got up to the same shenanigans on the night in question, does it? If you can't make your case better than that, I'm afraid I can't change my stance. You do make a very valid point, sir. What? That's true. Perhaps I was a little hasty. No, wait! Look, you've got your chance here, haven't you? So it's time to prove your theory. If you and your Japanese cohorts can, that is. Just leave our nationality out of this, please. Mr. Naruhodo, if we can't substantiate our position, I'm afraid the jurors that changed their minds before may very well change them back. What can I do? Is there any more proof I can give here? Maybe. Possibly. Perchance. Can I show that Mr. Shamspear really did blow down the gas pipe on the night in question? Supporting testimony, 'cause the stove went out. No, in truth, I don't have evidence to support my theory. However, there is witness testimony that substantiates it. What's that? Testimony? This is incredible. Whose testimony? It's all connected. Everything is linked. A person whose testimony revealed details about the gas in the Garadeb residence that night. Namely... Natsume.
Take that!
Obviously, I'm talking about the defendant, Mr. Soseki Natsume himself. The defendant? At the very beginning of the proceedings here in court yesterday, Mr. Natsume said the following. My lodgings! It's been a whole series of strange happenings at my lodgings. Even on that faithful night it happened. When I returned from Mr. Shamspear's room, I lit my gas stove and climbed into bed. But before long, the stove went out and somebody tried to kill me. On the night in question, the gas in the defendant's room went out. So, I asked the court, was that a mere coincidence or not? Good golly! So that Shamspear fellow blew air into the gas pipe to make this man's stove go out on purpose? Now hold your horses there. What would he do that for? Making him nervous. I love making him nervous. Mr. Foreman? What is it, man? We cannot allow judgment to be passed whilst this doubt remains. It's true that I don't have conclusive evidence yet. However, you must surely agree there is more to this case than meets the eye. Fair enough. Like I said at the outset, I'm a man of logic, first and foremost. Yay! It's 4 jurors leaning towards not guilty, my lord. We've overturned the decision. Therefore, the defense calls for the trial to continue. Yay! As the defense has rightfully indicated, the summation examination has concluded with a majority of jurors altering their decisions. 2 jury members now call guilty, 4 now call not guilty. Therefore, the jury's opinion is conflicted, and in accordance with the law of this land, I hereby order the continuation of this trial. Yay! Mr. William Shamspeare. My lord, how can thy humble Shamspeare serve thee? What say you in response to the various revelations made during the summation examination? So God mend me, I do solemnly swear. I recall aught of either the lamp or the pipe. But your handprints have made a tidy mess all over the wall there. How'd you explain that, eh? I am done with this. The dignity of this great courtroom has been sullied enough already, juror number 5. Oh, me? As I went to some pains to point out already, a print from the self-professed detective's toy has no place in a British court of law. As such, whether or not this man did indeed stand before the gas lamp with his hands against the wall remains, at this time, unestablished conjecture. You would all do well to remember that.
Objection.
But the prosecution must concede that it would be extremely simple to verify. Just order the mouth of the gas pipe feeding that lamp in Mr. Shamspeare's room to be examined. If there are traces of poison there,
Objection.
what appears to be extremely simple is my Nipponese friend's mind. You will recall that in order to check for the presence of poison in the tea, some remnants of tea were required. Yes? Therefore, it shouldn't be beyond your wit to imagine that even if poison were to have been spread on the pipe, it would have completely evaporated by now, making any analysis impossible. I didn't think of that. In any case, counsel, I fail to see what could have possibly motivated the man to do as you describe. Why on earth would this fellow have wanted to blow air into the gas pipework where he lived? To kill someone. Possibly. There's only one possibility I can think of, and that is to use the leaking gas to commit murder. Order? Order! Counsel! Precisely whose life do you propose this man was plotting to end? The answer couldn't be simpler, now we've unraveled the mystery this far. Mr. Shamspeare wanted to end the life of... He wanted that middle fucking room!
Take that.
If a gas lamp were to go out, it would be noticed immediately, of course. But a gas stove, on the other hand, could be silently extinguished by the killer without anyone noticing. I live around these parts myself, so I know what it's like. I can tell you, trying to sleep without the stove lid is pretty much suicide. You'd freeze to death in no time. Mr. Garadeb, the landlord, has a large fireplace in his part of the residence on the top floor. In other words, it wasn't the landlord, but a fellow lodger whose life Mr. Shamspear was trying to end. Outrageous! I'm talking, of course, about the defendant. Get nervous. Mr. Natsume isn't the villain in this case, but he's the victim this man was trying to murder. Gracious.
Objection!
Haven't I told you before where you can shove your objections? The accused is actually the aggrieved? Interesting. However, the fundamental facts of the case remain unchanged. Namely, that the accused is the aggressor here. How can you still claim that? Let us indulge your fancies for a moment and assume there was indeed poison on the mouth of the gas pipe. The question that then arises is who put it there? Who did put it there? The only logical conclusion is that the person who's responsible was aware of this man's trickery with the gas supply and his intent to kill. So that would indeed seem logical. If the assailant were unaware, how would he or she have known to lace the end of the pipe with poison? So now we must ask, how could anyone have known of Mr. Shamspear's murderous designs? You mean to suggest? Naturally, the sole possible answer to that question couldn't be more obvious. So you think only the man whose life was being threatened could possibly have known? What? In other words, the person who put the poison on the gas pipe in what was a clear retaliatory attack can only have been the accused, Mr. Saseki Natsume. Whatever Mr. William Shamspear may or may not have contrived to do, he was nevertheless the victim of a potentially lethal poison attack. And the only person who could have possibly perpetrated the attack is the accused, Mr. Natsume. The defense counsel's theorizing has failed to avert suspicion from the accused. Far from it. In fact, now that a clear motive for the poisoning has been successfully established, that suspicion is greater than ever. Would you not agree, my Nipponese friend? Ah. Alright, we've been launched. Ooh, there's chatter. They're gossiping. How did he manage to turn that around on me so rapidly? Mr. Naruhodo, you must respond. Otherwise, the members of the jury may very well change their leanings against us again. And this may be our last chance to gain the advantage. What advantage? Well, it would seem that somebody put poison on the gas pipe in Mr. Shamspear's room. We must name that person now and absolve Mr. Natsume of guilt. You mean, name the true culprit? I know it might sound impossible, but if we fail to do that, I have no doubt that Mr. Natsume's fate will be sealed once and for all. As it happens, one possible culprit does come to mind. The evidence, the poison, it's all pointing to a particular person now. The prosecution calls for the jury to consider their leanings again. The defense has more evidence for you. I can promise you the defense has more evidence for you. Oh, don't you worry. We know exactly what...
Objection.
I object! On principle! There is one other person who I believe could have been involved in all this. The true culprit of this crime, or at least the poisoning part of it. A term found only in second-rate novels featuring third-rate great detectives, my Nepalese friend. But why not? This farce has gone on for so long already, I see no reason to cut it short before its disappointing climax. Thank you. Tell us, my learned Nepalese friend, what is your latest theory? Who is the so-called true culprit of this crime? She has reasons! Vengeance! Because her fiancé was killed by Shamspear, who wanted that fucking room. Apparently badly enough to kill about it.
Take that!
The name of the person responsible for the poison that afflicted Mr. Shamspear is, I believe, Miss Olive Green. Miss Olive Green? Miss Olive Green. I do feel as though I've heard that name in the recent past, Counsel, but I don't recall where. Miss Olive Green? The woman from 6 days ago. The victim in the recent case of stabbing on Briar Road. An incident from which Mr. Natsume was arrested, I hasten to add. Oh, of course! Yes, Miss Green. She was left comatose for some 3 days, I believe. But I hear she regained consciousness 2 days ago. I hardly need remind the court that Mr. Shamspear's poisoning took place 3 days ago. Given that the woman was lying comatose in a hospital bed at the time, she appears to have a rather fine alibi. True, on the night the incident occurred, Miss Green was in hospital, unconscious. So, on the face of it, it would seem she couldn't possibly be responsible. But still. My colleagues and I visited Miss Green in hospital yesterday, and we found her to be in possession of a bottle of poison. Gracious, she had poison? And there is another fact that links Miss Green to this case as well. The defense requests that she be brought to the witness stand in order to explain the details to the court. Tell me, Mr. Shamspear. My lord, pray, what be thy bidding? Are you acquainted with Miss Green? Ah, no, never heard of her. Oh, says the guy who was in her hospital room? And trying to kiss up to her? Judging by the look on Mr. Shamspear's face, I think perhaps he genuinely doesn't know her. At least, not by name. As the voice of Her Majesty's prosecution here, I adhere to my word. We will see my learned Nepalese friend's farce through to its conclusion. I appreciate that. The prosecution requests a short recess, my lord, in order to subpoena the witness and bring her here. Yes, Miss Olive Green. Indeed, my lord. 1 hour should be sufficient. Very well, I grant the request. Excellent! I hope. The defense has made a most extraordinary accusation, I must say. But at the present time, I feel the prosecution's argument remains largely uncontested. Accordingly, I'm afraid the defendant and his culpability remain the sole subject of this court's attention. Thank you, counsels. We reconvene in 1 hour. Court is adjourned. Not actually 1 hour. On Wednesday. Because, with a to be continued, I shall wrap up the stream here. Yes, I would like to save. So, I shall see everyone on Wednesday for the delightful continuation of the trial and asking Miss Olive Green what's up. So, I will be ending here and seeing you all on Wednesday. Goodbye. Fare thee well, I suppose, if we want to borrow Sham Spears.